Hello to all of you. We're so glad you came our way. We hope our time with you will be a blessing and increase your understanding of the Bible. If you would like to donate and help grow this ministry, please check the options below. And folks, we will send you a free copy of our booklet, Training Your Children in the Way They Should Go. Thank you so much. And now let's enjoy some questions and answers from the Bible. Hello there, we're back. Back again. Time to be together, wanting to learn together. More questions and answers, and more of the story of Jesus, the best story ever told. So let's get right into the next chapter, chapter 7. What kind of judging will come our way?
Well, the same kind of judging we do to others is going to come to us.
What a teaching. Now I know this verse has been used defensively to justify some things, and I think there's a better understanding than what most people think about. But actually this is teaching that we are to give righteous judging, proper judging. You know, when the Bible teaches us, by their fruits ye shall know them. How do you determine the fruit on the tree? You judge, you determine. So there is proper judging or discerning or determining that we do. So this isn't telling us to stop all judging. It's telling us that when we do judge, that we're very honest with it, right about it, merciful. Okay, next, what does it say about the speck in your brother's eye?
Well, don't even think about his speck until you remove the one from your own eye.
Now there you go, see? So there's a proper way to go about looking into another person's life or faults. I think this is a lot like when Jesus taught the woman taken in adultery. You folks who want this woman to be stoned need to stop and think that maybe a few stones ought to be tossed your way. Yeah. So let's do some righteous judging here. You consider about cleaning up your own life, hello, before you try to correct others so much. And isn't it easy, hey, pardon me, isn't it easy to find the fault in the other person? And I have a good reason for what is in my life. You see, we judge other people by their actions, outright actions. We judge ourselves by our intentions. And that's a whole lot easier on me. So the Lord's trying to tell us something here for sure. What must we do first then?
Well, remove our own problem before we remove theirs.
Do something about your own life. What's that old saying? Clean off your own porch or back steps or whatever. Here's a broom.
Your own backyard.
Here's a broom. Here's a rake. Here's a shovel. Take care of your own before you try it on others. Next, what are we not to give to dogs and cast before the swine?
We're not to give the dogs what is holy, and we're not to cast pearls before swine.
Now this is kind of an odd way to illustrate something, but you know, those people had their way of illustrating just like we do today. So he's talking about a dog, and he's talking about swine, and he says, don't give them your best, your pearls. And actually, he's telling us here, don't give the good doctrine, don't give the good teachings, don't give the good admonitions to people who are going to turn around and run a sword into you. Yeah. So you see, Jesus actually teaches us to avoid some people. He's not talking about a literal swine here. I can avoid them without any help. P-U-E. But you know, there's people that we need to avoid. Did you hear that? Oh, Dick, you should not have said that. Evil companions corrupt. The Bible teaches all that. So here's a little warning. Okay, complete the following. Ask,
and it shall be given you.
So we're encouraged to ask. You don't have it unless you ask for it. And James is encouraging us there, and when James says that, to ask for wisdom. It's important that we ask for wisdom from God. You won't get it unless you ask for it. Don't expect it to come a bolt of lightning. Another one, seek and
Ye shall find.
Seek and ye shall find. Well, I guess that's true. Whenever we had a treasure hunt, you sure had to get out of your seat and go looking. Knock and
It will be opened unto you.
I think the Lord, I do believe the Lord is trying to tell us to get off of our duffer and do our part of seeking Him, seeking the right things, seeking Bible understanding, and don't expect God to do it all. I think we like to pray and never put a leg under our prayers. What do you think? Yeah. We want God to do it all. All we're doing is stalling for time and hoping for something to be better without any effort. What will happen if we ask, seek, and knock?
It will happen.
It sure will happen. At least it'll be a whole lot more apt to happen than if you do nothing. You see, God's people are encouraged to be a progressive people in the right direction. I do believe that. Next, if we parents will give good gifts to our children, what will God do?
Well, He'll do the same.
He'll do the same. Now, there's not very many parents that will give something that's inappropriate. Like I've told a time or two, I did some things for my aunt, and she said, I'll pay you. So she said, hold out your hand. I held out my hand, closed my eyes, and she put something in my hand, and when I opened it, it was a rotten apple core. That was a disappointment, as you can expect. Normally that doesn't happen, but they had to laugh at my expense, and I lived through it. But anyway, parents don't do that, and you can know God is a better parent, and He will do good to you, for you, and by you more than you realize. Did you get that? Next, for whatever you want men to do to you, what are you to do?
The same to them.
Yeah. You want them to treat you a certain good way, turnabout's fair play. What leads to destruction?
A wide gate and a broad way.
This is quite a teaching there in Matthew 7:13. Enter ye in at the straight gate. Now, a straight gate is not crooked. Pure and simple. But a straight gate or way also means it can be close and narrow and difficult to enter. So the Lord is telling us something here. That wide gate, that broad way, is something else. it leads to destruction. And I remember when I first came across this, it became quite a teaching, and it should teach us good, all of us. Because as a person reaps or sows, it's going to happen. How many will travel this wide way, broad way?
Oh, many. That's why it's broad and wide.
Easy to go in thereat.
Yeah.
Folks, there's going to be more people that are going to miss it than make it. Did you hear that? Don't let it be you. Don't keep putting it off. Don't keep avoiding it. How many will travel the narrow way?
Few.
Few. Many are called. Few shall be chosen. You want to make sure yourself. Isn't that a teaching? How will we know the false prophets?
The Bible says, by their fruits you'll
By
know
their
them.
fruits. See, there you have to judge. You have to determine. You have to inspect and scrutinize. What does a good tree bear?
Good fruit.
What does a bad tree bear?
Bad fruit.
It's not hard to understand, is it? I thought you said that the Bible's hard to understand. No, not really. I think the hard part is it's easy to understand, and you don't want that. Yeah. What is to happen to a tree that bears bad fruit?
Well, it's to be cut down and burned.
Matter of fact, if you don't bear any fruit, it's to be cut down too. Cut it down. Burn it. It's talking about our lives. I don't want to think about being chopped off at the roots. Complete the following. Therefore, by their fruits.
You will know them.
So there you have it. This is an exercise of life that we all need to do. We are to inspect. There's inspectors in every line of the fruit business, picking out the good and picking out the bad. We're to be fruit inspectors. And one of these days, God's going to inspect our fruit. Next, who will actually enter into the kingdom of God?
The one who does the will of the Father.
May I read that, please? Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, hey, religious, see, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father in heaven. So it's not just to show up and smile, we have to do. To whom will the Lord say, depart from me?
Well, those that say, Lord, Lord, but who actually break the laws of God.
Yeah, they can be very religious and say how wonderful the Lord is, actually. But if they're not doing, many times throughout the Old Testament, even the New Testament, if people didn't do exactly what God said, things happened. Remember the man that touched the ark? Boom. Remember the two sons of Aaron who offered a strange fire? Boom. What about Ananias and Sapphira in the New Testament? Boom again. Something to think about. Who is the wise person who builds on the rock?
The wise person is the one who hears and does what Jesus says.
Right. Now, you know, with your children, those little ones that said, hear you say, and they obey you, that is such an appreciated thing as a parent, and that's how God feels. Yes, indeed. What happens to the house not built on the rock?
Well, it's destroyed.
It's destroyed. Now those are the people who do not obey the Lord. Did you hear that? What is true of the person who does not keep the sayings of Jesus?
They're the ones who built their house on the sand.
Built on the sand. Yes. What happens to the house built on the sand?
It goes boom, it's destroyed.
Destroyed. You see, if you build on sand, the rains come, the floods come, and it washes the sand right out from under you. You don't have a foundation. That's why we eagerly learn the teachings of Jesus and build our house, our lives on those teachings. Very simple, very true. Don't build on the sand. Hey, we only have 2 more questions for this chapter. Are you hanging on? What was the response of the people at Jesus' teaching here?
They were amazed.
Now, doesn't that kind of grab you? The things that Jesus teach here are just so very simple. They're not complex. They're not eloquently spoken. But it sure takes you back. It caused these people to be astounded. And the very last question of this chapter, what was characteristic of his teaching?
Why he taught with great authority.
You know, when you teach the simple thoughts of Jesus, they speak for themselves. They do you good. They point you in the right direction. They free up your life. And that's why we're going over these chapters with you, so that you can review what you've already learned or learn brand new, the good thoughts. And we want to encourage you, listen more, learn more, and build your house on the rock. How about that? No sand builders here. See you next time.